Orlando's police chief is calling on prosecutors and judges to help protect his officers from violent criminals. There have been two recent separate unprovoked attacks on police officers over the weekend. Two Orlando police officers were attacked by a man with a brick who actually streamed it live on Facebook. Now, earlier this month, two other officers were shot at while they were in their car. Orlando Police Chief Orlando Rolon is joining us live this morning with more on what needs to be done to fix this problem. First of all, good to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Amy. Thank you for having me.
So you've talked about the criminal history of the men who were involved in these two incidents. Give me a little bit of background about what you know about the people who attacked your officers.
You know, we found a couple of common denominators when it comes to some of the individuals that are creating the worst havoc when it comes to crime. And in this particular case, one individual, 9 felony charges, 0 convictions, a juvenile with 25 felony charges, 0 convictions. And then we went on to look at a list of probably the top 10, top 20 individuals that we have dealt with, 346 felony charges, 28 convictions. One guy had 42 felony charges, 0 convictions. So somewhere the answer lies. We need to find what that answer is to why it is that these individuals that keep committing felony offenses are out and about in our community. It's just not right.
Well, it's not safe for your officers. It's not safe for anyone. So how do we go about making sure that the charges stick? Where is the problem lie in the system?
I think our nation is going through a process right now where they're trying to make adjustments, and rightly so. There are some people who have been arrested for charges that are still lingering, that are still affecting them, and we need to make efforts to try to fix that, right? But that also points to the fact that there are some individuals that, unfortunately, when they're given a second chance, are not taking advantage of those situations. When those situations do occur, we need to hold them accountable. As citizens, as part of the jury in a process, they need to be mindful of the fact that their decisions will have an impact on what these individuals will do if they're not found guilty, if they're not given proper sentencing. And we all need to play a role in this process. And I think it's something that I think highlights the importance of addressing it. How we get there, I think, is more important than even this discussion that we're having now.
Chief, do you have a dialogue with prosecutors and judges that you guys are all able to get into a room and sit down together and discuss this?
So traditionally for our profession, it is something that we have done. I think now more than ever, this has come to the surface of a topic that we need to address. But I also must give credit to State Attorney Worrell. She was very quick in responding to the fact that she also expressed concerns for what happened to our officers. They have also assured us that they will do everything within their power, within the law, to make sure that the individuals responsible for these offenses are found accountable. But we will have to see. We will have to see what the judicial process yields. And these particular cases here are cases that we will be watching closely.
I know this is not something that is just, isolated to Orlando. We're seeing this in many other parts of the country as well. But I'm sure you're watching some of these other cities that are going through this. Their problems are worse than ours, and you don't want us to go down that road.
Absolutely. And I think our community has always been a leader in making sure that we address things promptly, especially when it comes to the law enforcement profession. We're constantly working with our partners. We're working with our community partners to ensure that we're doing our best to minimize or reduce crime. During the summer, we partner with MBI, the FBI. We partner with a bunch of people. We saw a reduction in the offenses that we traditionally see in the summer. But the work continues, and we must work collectively to make sure that when it comes to situations like this, we address them properly.
Chief, those images of the pictures of the officers that were injured after they were attacked with a brick, those are pretty disturbing. Can you give us an update on how they're doing?
Happy to report that they're both doing great. As a matter of fact, the officer whose eye was almost gouged out, he came back to work the following night because he felt that if he did not show up to work, then his squad would be short one less person. That's how committed the officers at the Orlando Police Department are to serve, and I applaud them for the way that they handle that situation.
Well, we're certainly glad that all of these officers are okay. And Chief, we look forward to hearing updates from you on how this progresses, and hopefully some things will change and we'll have some improvements. So we look forward to that. Chief Orlando Rolon with Orlando Police, always nice to have you with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Amy.
Good to see you.